My best friend, Maya, was practically shrieking into the phone. I rubbed my ear, genuinely perplexed by her meltdown. Honestly, what was the big deal? All I said was that I'd finally conquered her older brother. Chloe, my brother. My pure, innocent brother. You corrupted him. Maya still sounded utterly incredulous. Hey, after all these years as best friends, you know I look out for you, I said magnanimously. Starting tomorrow, you move into my place. Take care of my cat, and while you're at it, work your magic on my brother, Ethan. Become my sister-in-law. How does that sound? Predictably, silence followed. Like knows like, or in this case, future sister-in-law knows future sister-in-law. Maya, bless her timid heart, had been crushing on my brother, Ethan Hayes, for years. Even distant relatives we barely saw knew about her epic, unspoken adoration. Yet, to this day, the girl hadn't mustered the courage to actually confess. Honestly, the things I had to do for my future sister-in-law. They say everyone has the courage to fly, they just need someone to give them that little nudge off the cliff. And who better than me, beautiful and kind-hearted as I am? Not only was I leading by example, but I was practically handing her the blueprint for success. I'd already cheerfully admitted my own long-standing designs on her brother, Leo Vance. Look, it's basically fate, I reasoned. If I can handle your brother, you can definitely handle mine. It's practically a cultural tradition, reciprocity. Since I'd conquered her brother Leo, it was only fair I offered up my own brother, Ethan, in return. Okay, I guess I'll try. Maya finally conceded, her voice small but hopeful. Progress. My efforts weren't in vain. Deal. Starting tomorrow, I vanish. Waiting for your good news. My suitcase was already packed, just waiting for her go-ahead. Don't worry, I added conspiratorially, I've even prepared a little surprise for you. Hanging up, I clutched the small device I had ready, a crucial part of my own plan. I could already picture my mom's overjoyed face when she eventually held her grandchild. My plan was flawless, brilliant, destined for a happy ending. Except for one tiny, hidden bug. The truth was, I hadn't actually succeeded yet. Okay, so maybe I hadn't physically touched Leo Vance, but I assure you, I'd had numerous in-depth encounters with him. In my dreams. Look, don't judge me. It's not my fault the man is devastatingly handsome without even realizing it, complete with broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and legs for days. But the real kicker? I'm a total sucker for voices. Severely. And Leo? His voice hits every single one of my sweet spots. Because, coincidentally, he happens to be a massively popular voice actor in the online audio drama circles. Most girls melt when their crush flirts. Me? The moment Leo speaks, I basically offer myself up for ritual sacrifice. My official excuse for disappearing for the next few days was a spontaneous trip. The destination, however, was Maya's apartment, less than 10 kilometers away. I'd already confirmed with Maya, her brother had landed a huge project recently and was practically living in his home studio. In preparation, I'd even taken an intensive crash course in gourmet cooking. I was brimming with confidence in my newly acquired culinary skills. I pictured the scene, Leo, stressed and exhausted from recording, forced to eat bland, plasticky takeout. And then I appear, a vision of domestic bliss, presenting a plate of exquisitely prepared, delicious food. Me, looking equally delicious, naturally. Wahahaha. My face probably mirrored some lecherous cartoon character's grin as my mind spun delightful fantasies. Okay, Chloe, I pep-talked myself, this is it. Make or break. To live 24/7 surrounded by the intoxicating sound waves of Leo Vance's voice? This time, I was going all in. It's been 30 minutes since Leo rescued me from the hallway outside his apartment. There was no frantic work chaos I'd envisioned. Instead, Leo seemed as relaxed as a retiree. Watering plants, sweeping floors, even spending a while just staring blankly off the balcony. No obvious opening for my brilliant plan. Just as I was racking my brain, Leo finally spoke. You said you got dumped? Thank you, Captain Obvious. Your reaction time is slow enough to qualify for a medical copay. Yes! I put on my best heartbroken expression. We were supposed to meet his parents, but right before I got on the plane, I found out he cheated. Boo-hoo-hoo. Leo, I can't face my family right now, it's too embarrassing. I pouted, tears welling up, looking utterly pathetic. If my target was a voice actor, my own acting skills needed to be top-notch. Please, just let me crash here for a few days. This was my pre-rehearsed plea, delivered with escalating levels of desperation. Logically, I've known Leo for almost as long as Maya has known my brother. She fell for Ethan at first sight, but still hasn't sealed the deal. Same story for me with Leo. How else could we be best friends? We even managed to perfectly replicate this ridiculously rare, drawn-out pining scenario. Compared to Maya's perpetual state of too scared to make a move, I clearly had more guts. I had tried confessing to Leo before multiple times, but he always shot me down with perfectly reasonable, infuriatingly platonic excuses. I see you as a little sister. It would be awkward if we broke up because we know each other too well. I don't plan on getting married. Even having kids seems like too much hassle. TSK, seriously? A few polite brush-offs were supposed to deter me? Did he think I was Maya? The only way he could extinguish the ever-burning flame of my desire was if he suddenly went mute. Analyzing past failures, I realized we just needed a catalyst. An opportunity for prolonged proximity, a chance for sparks to fly, for thunder and lightning to strike. Hence, the slightly absurd, pitiful, dumped and too ashamed to go home, please let me stay strategy. To achieve this grand vision, I'd spent over 3 hours squatting in the freezing wind outside his building. Finally, my persistence paid off. I intercepted Leo on his way out to buy a jianbingguizi, a savory crepe. Now, Leo stood silently, clearly trying to gauge how much of my sob story was real. Suit yourself, he finally shrugged, turning away without further questions. I let out a huge sigh of relief and started unpacking my meticulously planned emergency suitcase. About 10 minutes later, the faint sound of running water from the bathroom reached my ears, instantly disrupting my calm. Had all that sweeping and plant watering tired him out? My target, currently showering within a 150 square meter radius? The mischievous impulse surged. Tiptoeing towards Leo's bedroom door, I cautiously tried the handle. Unlocked. Score. His room had a cool, American retro vibe, artistic and masculine. Maya had mentioned both their bedrooms were en suites. He must be in the bathroom attached to his room. Slipping off my shoes to avoid making noise, I crept forward barefoot. Yes! The bathroom door was slightly ajar too. Heaven was on my side. I made my move. Ow! Hey! Busted. Instantly. The cute heart-shaped clip on my ponytail must have peeked around the doorframe, because Leo's hand shot out and snagged it perfectly. What are you spying on? Leo's voice came from above, laced with amused suspicion. Why are you showering with your clothes on? Crap. My unfiltered thought slipped out. So, Leo's voice sharpened, sensing the flaw in my outburst. You were planning to spy on me showering? He had me cornered. All right, spill it. Why are you really here? Tell the truth, or I'm throwing you out right now. I, Chloe Hayes, hereby retract all previous disparaging comments made about my best friend, Maya Lin. In this moment, facing Leo's interrogation, I grasped a profound truth. Sometimes, stealth and patience are far more effective than a full frontal assault. After a torrent of tears, dramatic explanations, and solemn oaths on my part, Leo mercifully granted me a temporary stay of execution, i.e., let me stay the night. As the city lights winked out one by one and silence descended, I rose. In the darkness, I located the metal fuse box near the front door, found the main breaker, pulled out the tiny gold scissors I'd packed. Snip. The fuse wire was cut. Heh. Daytime maneuvers failed? Nighttime operations were now under my control. Sure enough, Leo, returning from a late-night run, noticed the blackout immediately upon entering. Leo, you're back. The power went out suddenly. I'm so scared. I launched myself out of the darkness like a small, fluffy projectile, aiming straight for his trim waist. Just as my hands were about to make contact, a large palm landed firmly on my forehead, stopping me midair. Don't look for comfort from me, he said deadpan. I'm scared too. Seriously? Leo Vance, could you be any more obtuse? If Maya hadn't sworn on her life he was straight, I'd be seriously questioning his orientation right now. We're probably out of candles. I'll go buy some. You watch the house. The door clicked shut behind him 5 seconds later. Alone in the pitch black, the hopeful grin slid off my face, replaced by a self-mocking grimace. Fine, Leo. You win this round. But the war isn't over. Sun Tzu wrote a whole book on strategy. Surely one of them would work on you. The next day, Leo fixed the fuse and settled into his work routine. Maya had told me his home studio was specially soundproofed. He Wouldn't hear a thing no matter how much noise I made outside. Perfect. Today, he would witness the second coming of a culinary goddess. Accompanied by a symphony of clanging pots and pans, I transformed into a domestic diva, beautiful cook, fragrant dishes. I'd peeled literally thousands of potatoes during my crash course at the cooking school, honing my skills for this very moment. However, I'd barely finished prepping a cold appetizer when Leo emerged from his studio. "Is the faucet broken?" he asked mildly, standing in the kitchen doorway. "Just wait a bit longer. Dinner's almost ready." I waved him away confidently. Instead of retreating, he walked right into the kitchen, his expression shifting. "Are you sure? Because it looks like you're trying to demolish the place." His handsome brow furrowed disapprovingly as he surveyed the scene. "I swear, my cooking was fine. It was just minor collateral damage. A few shrimp had made a bid for freedom and were currently breakdancing on the floor. Some lettuce leaves were enjoying a leisurely spa day in the sink. The sea base on the cutting board was still putting up a surprisingly vigorous fight. It wasn't entirely my fault. The intensive course used pre-prepped ingredients, and the fancy grocery delivery service route was blocked today, forcing me to brave the chaotic local market and buy everything unprocessed." Leo fell silent, walking towards me. He calmly took the knife from my left hand and the spatula from my right. He jerked his head towards the door. The message was clear: get out. So much for showcasing my skills. Defeated, I shuffled out. To my surprise, instead of just cleaning up my mess, Leo started cooking himself. With swift, expert movements, the fish ceased its struggles, the shrimp met their sizzling fate in the wok. Holy cow. Was this guy secretly a graduate of the Cordon Bleu? The delicious aroma of garlic and ginger soon filled the apartment, chasing away the sterile studio air and replacing it with comforting domesticity. Maya's intel was clearly from another era. What I was seeing completely contradicted her reports. With skills like these, he didn't need takeout. He could open his own restaurant. When Leo placed 4 dishes and a soup on the table, my lonely little cold appetizer looked utterly pathetic. "Eat up." He handed me chopsticks. Shamefaced, I dug in. "Oh, my God. What celestial being had cooked this? Your cooking is amazing. Did you learn from a master chef?" Having considered myself a newly minted culinary disciple, encountering this hidden master chef made me feel like a complete amateur. Leo, however, remained infuriatingly modest. "You cook enough, you get the hang of it," he replied nonchalantly, embodying the spirit of humble bragging. Seriously? A guy who supposedly lives on takeout cooks like this? But don't you eat takeout every day? I pressed, unwilling to let it go. "Where do you find the time to cook?" "Maya loves takeout," he said without looking up, focused on his meal. "I don't." It took considerable effort not to choke. "Fine. You win. I surrender, okay?" The food was divine, but my mind wasn't on gustatory pleasure. My consecutive failures demanded a tactical rethink. Later that evening, I decided to call Maya and get the real story. Did she just not know her own brother, or was Leo deliberately messing with me? Before I could dial, Maya beat me to it, her voice frantic. "Chloe, your brother smells worse than used cat litter. I can't handle him." She then launched into a hilarious litany of Ethan's domestic shortcomings that had me struggling not to laugh out loud. Yep, definitely my best friend. As the saying goes, if you can't beat them, run. Normally, I'd offer a comforting shoulder. But right now, for the sake of future generations of the Hayes family line, I couldn't let her give up. Operation Sister-in-Law Swap depended on her success too. Cue the motivational speech, emotional appeals, logical reasoning, veiled threats, outright bribery, and a touch of hysteria. After nearly 4 hours, I managed to reignite Maya's dwindling flame of passion for my brother. "Go get him, Tiger. Your future sister-in-law believes in you." Hanging up, I felt a wave of profound self-admiration. Here I was, a wounded soldier on the battlefield of love, still managing to provide air support for my comrade. Oh, the nobility. Wiping away tears of self-congratulation, I finally drifted off to sleep. The cooking strategy was dead. Time for Plan C. Since Leo wasn't a typical guy, I needed an unconventional approach, something unique to prove our cosmic compatibility. Given our long acquaintance and Maya's big mouth, Leo probably knew a lot about the real me already. Learning a new skill was out. Fabrication it was. Digging out an old phone, I started making fake calls, constructing a new, fascinating persona. Yes, I'm in Chengdu currently, so I'll have to pause my equestrian lessons for now. That vintage culture exchange in Shanghai? Oh, I'd love to attend if I can fit it in. Is this Sister Lily from the anime convention? We cosplayed together. Congratulations on your engagement. Oh, such an honor is undeserved. I'm still too young. Please give it to one of the senior members. I got so into my performance I almost started believing my own hype. I was clearly destined for greater things. Before I could finish my fictional award acceptance speech, Leo finally reacted. He walked towards me, closer and closer. My lines faltered. Oh God, was he going to kiss me? Should I close my eyes demurely or lean in boldly? 1 meter, half a meter, 20 centimeters. Just as I was about to squeeze my eyes shut in anticipation, Leo sat down directly in front of me. He mouthed the words silently. Chloe, what are you doing? Stay in character. Turning slightly away from the phone, as if the imaginary person on the other end couldn't see, I answered primly, I'm on the phone. He raised an eyebrow, his voice low but carrying. With who? None of that sounds like anything you would ever do. What are you really up to? A sudden chill went down my spine. No way. My acting was Oscar-worthy. How could he see through it? The stables outside the city closed after the pandemic, he stated calmly. Where exactly are you taking riding lessons? He continued, ticking points off on his fingers. The Shanghai culture exchange only invites master-level artists. Why would they invite you? He paused, tilting his head. And I wasn't aware you had any particular talents worthy of an award. What prize are they giving you? The Supreme Champion of Lazing Around award? Okay, busted. Spectacularly. What was the point of pretending anymore? I managed a weak, awkward laugh. Summoning every ounce of misplaced confidence, I offered the lamest excuse imaginable. My mentor got a gig making short videos for the anti-fraud hotline. I was just helping her run lines. Oh! Leo leaned back, nodding slowly, a look of exaggerated enlightenment on his face. Great. Just great. It had now been 72 hours since I infiltrated Leo's apartment. 72 critical hours. Wasted. Utterly wasted. Collapsing onto my temporary bed, sleep was impossible. My mind raced. I needed air. I wandered towards the large balcony accessible from the living room. As I neared it, I heard Leo's voice. He was speaking in a language I didn't recognize, completely absorbed. The balcony connected to his study. In the moonlight, wearing only a thin shirt, he stood focused on a script, his beautifully shaped lips moving, producing sounds that were practically celestial music. Seriously, life wasn't fair. Giving one man that voice. He could probably read the phone book and make it sound like poetry. Even his insults probably sounded better than most people's love songs. Not sleeping? What are you eavesdropping on now? He'd spotted me. Though our rooms were separate, only an air conditioning unit separated our sections of the shared balcony. If we weren't 21 floors up, I'd have been tempted to pull a Romeo and scale the divider. I wasn't eavesdropping. Just getting some air, I protested. Hey, Leo, why did you want to become a voice actor anyway? Good money, flexible hours, no need to show my face, he replied casually, each reason sounding flippant and untrue. I have social anxiety, didn't you know? He added dryly. Was he joking? With his looks, most people would kill for the exposure. If he wanted fame, he could have it easily. Fans would go crazy. Even casual observers would be captivated. Honestly? Didn't notice, I admitted. While maybe not Mr. Social Butterfly, he seemed perfectly fine in group settings with us growing up. Meals out, trips, movies. He always attended birthdays and holiday events too. Normal. You have issues with your eyes, Leo retorted with a smirk, then turned and shut his study door. This guy had to be made of stainless steel. Utterly impenetrable. I assumed he was done for the night. But just as I opened the fridge, seeking solace in snacks, his bedroom door opened again. Done eavesdropping, now you're stealing food? He strolled over, following my gaze into the fridge's depths. I'm hungry, I mumbled. My stomach rumbled obligingly. Whether from hunger for food or for him was debatable. Leo just shook his head, gently nudging me aside. He gestured for me to move. Flicking on the kitchen light, he grabbed a few eggs and some green onions and started preparing something himself. Suppressing a grin, I obediently perched on a bar stool at the kitchen island. A man who cooks? Be still my heart. Less than 20 minutes later, a steaming bowl of pan-fried dumplings topped with fluffy egg ribbons sat before me. I didn't hesitate, grabbing utensils and settling opposite him. As I ate, the image of him on the balcony earlier replayed in my mind. Hey, what language were you speaking in the study before? Insults, Leo answered bluntly. I stared at him, disbelieving. Seeing my confusion, he went back to his study and returned with the script he'd been holding. While finishing his dumplings, he explained. Apparently, some persistent trolls left nasty comments on his audio drama posts. I taught myself some basic Spanish, he explained. Enough to understand and reply. He'd taken their hateful comments, twisted them into crude limericks, added some choice Spanish swear words, and recorded himself reciting them purely for his own amusement. Badass. Seriously cool. Wickedly clever. That whole bad boys are irresistible thing? Totally true. After finishing the dumplings, sleep was the furthest thing from my mind. I pestered him into reciting his Spanish revenge poetry several more times. Leo's features were all stunning, but his mouth? Definitely the MVP. Fluent in English and Mandarin, capable of shifting from youthful tones to mature voices effortlessly. Only one question remained. Those multilingual, multi-talented lips. What would they actually feel like to kiss? On the 4th day of my occupation, the usually calm Leo finally exploded. But not at me. He took a call, and his mood instantly soured. I know. I've got it handled, he kept repeating tersely into his headset. The call dragged on. He paced, occasionally responding curtly. After about half an hour, it still hadn't ended. Studying his strained expression and catching snippets of his replies, I pieced it together. It had to be my future parents-in-law. Okay, currently just a hypothetical scenario. I don't want a civil service job. I hate 9 to 5. I'm doing fine now. This work supports me, and more importantly, I enjoy it. Leo had stopped puttering around, now fully engaged in defending his choices. Ugh. This feeling. I understood it so well. Unlike my naturally brilliant brother Ethan, who excelled at everything effortlessly, I was not cut from the same cloth. My parents had tried forcing me down his path, music lessons because he won awards, math Olympiads because he skipped grades, science stream because he got early university admission. It took them years to finally accept that siblings, even from the same parents, can be entirely different. People love using others' success stories as blueprints, ignoring the fact that what works for one rarely works for another. Clearly, my future in-laws hadn't reached this level of enlightenment yet. Fine. Consider me the catalyst for their accelerated learning curve. Mr. Vance, your fans are demanding an update. If you're free, please start recording. Yes, Mr. Vance. I'm waiting eagerly to like and subscribe. Ignore them, Mr. Vance. I'm your #1 fan. Pinching my nose, breathing heavily, lowering my voice, in less than a minute, I cycled through 3 distinct, adoring fan personas, trying to create a supportive atmosphere for Leo. Unfortunately, he just stared at me like I was a complete idiot. Mom, he said into his headset, ignoring my performance, I have to work now, people are waiting. Pause. Who? Oh, just my sister's classmate. Another pause. What do you mean? It's the same excuse every time? I'm not lying. Come over right now and see for yourself if you don't believe me. Pause. Okay. Surprise inspection welcome. Finally, Leo ended the call. He collapsed onto the sofa, looking utterly drained, as if he'd just fought a major battle. He gave me a small, okay, hand gesture, a silent thank you. From the snippets I'd overheard, I gleaned a crucial piece of intel. His parents made calls like this often. And this wasn't the first time someone, presumably female, had been used as an excuse to get them off his back. Damn it. Potential rivals existed. Gazing at the beautiful man resting on the sofa, my eyes narrowed. Fine, Leo Vance. Hiding little secrets, are we? Just wait until I personally unmask this mystery woman who apparently got here before me. Because of my rescue during the parental interrogation, Leo splurged that evening, ordering a massive king crab delivery. My plans to unmask the rival immediately softened at the sight of delicious crustacean legs. When it came to future husbands, my standards weren't that high. Feed me well, be handsome and kind, live nearby. That pretty much covered it. Of course, possessing a voice I adored could override all previous requirements. Luckily, fate had blessed me with a top-tier candidate who ticked all the boxes. You start with the legs, Leo instructed, already prepping the crab. I'll make some noodles with the body meat later. Hee hee hee. My man was the best. Chloe, Leo said suddenly, his tone serious as he waited for the noodles to cook. Can I ask you something? Do girls really care that much about a guy's job? I didn't answer immediately, trying to figure out what answer he wanted to hear. The earlier call with his parents must have shaken him. He wasn't exactly young. Parental pressure about marriage was normal. No matter how independent someone seems, humans crave connection. Leo, me, Maya, Ethan, we all needed community. Beneath his cool, indifferent exterior, I sensed a vulnerability, a carefully hidden caution. Putting on my most dazzling smile, I casually slid onto the stool next to him. There are hundreds of professions, and probably all of them suck sometimes, I said lightly. The fact that you can support yourself doing something you're passionate about? That's amazing. I leaned in slightly. You take words on a page and give them life, real emotional depth. That's your contribution. Leo, you're incredible. You just don't realize it. Hee hee hee. Still true. My man is the best. My words seemed to land. For the first time, Leo reached out and gently patted my head. Not only that, his gorgeous, star-like eyes twinkled as he looked at me, and he actually responded. Thanks. I know now. So, can we kiss now? Crap, the filter between my brain and mouth failed again. I watched his expression morph from gratitude to awkwardness, then quickly darken. He abruptly averted his gaze, returning his attention to the noodles, slipping back into his stoic master chef mode. I knew it. Another 24 hours. Wasted. I regretted everything. Operation Woo Leo seemed stalled, making zero progress. But then, Leo hit a real crisis. The audio drama where he voiced the main character took a sharp turn in the plot, resulting in his character being written out prematurely. If that were all, it would just be a loss of income. No big deal. The problem was, the author not only killed off his popular character, but introduced a new main character with a similar-sounding name, voiced by someone else entirely. As the new plot unfolded, the original lighthearted story veered wildly off course. In short, the beloved character Leo voiced was retroactively ruined, tarnished by the new storyline. The online forums exploded. Disgusting. Using Kanan's voice actor for that creepy loser character? I can't listen anymore. Selling out. He'll take any crappy role for money. What a hack. Godiva needs to quit the show, or I'm boycotting him forever. Godiva was Leo's voice actor stage name. Fans often called him Mr. Chocolate, sending boxes of the namesake brand to the studio he worked with. Thanks to Leo, I'd enjoyed free luxury chocolate for years. It had taken him nearly 5 years to go from minor roles to landing the signature character, Kanan. Now, because of script changes, he was taking all the heat. It's fine. Gives me a chance to take a break, Leo said dismissively when I brought it up. The production company, facing online backlash, hadn't sent him the scripts for the next season anyway. Jobless, Leo seemed listless, even losing interest in cooking. He started ordering takeout, a shocking development. The bags often contained several different brands of beer. He never drank alcohol. At this rate, his precious voice would be ruined. While Leo was out one afternoon, I sprang into action. Buying several burner online accounts, I dived into the forums where the hate was loudest. Juggling multiple personas, I began meticulously crafting counterarguments, defending Leo. I presented objective analyses of the script. Changes, then switched to tearful, young fan mode, begging others for support. Predictably, trolls attacked my whitewashing attempts and heated debates erupted. After 4 hours straight, armed with 8 different online identities, I had managed to slightly shift the negative tide. Just as I was about to reward myself with a celebratory bubble tea, Leo appeared silently behind me. Stop arguing with them. They can trace the IPs. Busted. Again. But I wasn't ashamed. I'd stuck to facts, hadn't used any insults. What? Did someone complain? Leo shook his head, but his hand reached over and closed my laptop lid. There are countless keyboard warriors out there, Chloe. Do you think our company hasn't sued fans before? He sighed. There's something else going on with this situation. Backstage politics. He rubbed his temples. It involves commercial secrets. I can't tell you the details. He reached out and patted my head again. Was that gratitude? Or affection? Or just habit? Whatever. My main concern was him. I voiced my worries, sincerely pleading with him not to resort to drinking. But my heartfelt concern seemed utterly misplaced. He insisted he was thrilled to have a paid vacation. Wait, paid? I was getting more confused. Then why did you buy all that beer? You drank 4 different kinds last night. Those were experimental batches, he explained patiently. I was just trying to replicate the beer duck recipe from Junxiang House. Junxiang House was a famous restaurant from our childhood, their beer duck legendary. The original owner passed away, and his kids, chasing quick profits, sold the property. Countless restaurants since claimed to have the original recipe, but none ever matched. I'd tried dozens, always leaving disappointed. Then why didn't you cook it yesterday? I asked, still confused. I realized they used a specific type of duck from Lemming Village next door. I ordered one the day before yesterday, just went to pick it up myself. He held up the bag he'd brought in. Inside lay the culprit of my misunderstanding, a plucked, naked duck, ready for the pot. A tragic sight. In that moment, I wasn't sure who was more pathetic, me or the duck. That night, I tasted Leo's homemade beer duck. When he asked if it tasted authentic, I honestly don't remember my answer. I was too busy trying not to stare at his lips while he ate. Forget it, Chloe. Don't get your hopes up. As the audio drama's shocking plot twists continued, the show, already popular, became a viral sensation. It turned out Leo's character hadn't died, but had gone undercover. The similar voice was a deliberate clue. The author, voice actors, and platform had planned this elaborate twist months ago, keeping only the audience in the dark. The turnaround brought rave reviews and attracted hordes of new fans drawn by the online buzz. Leo, as the lead voice actor, skyrocketed to fame. His agency quickly capitalized, planning a small fan meet and greet featuring the entire main cast, including the author. These days, I obsessively monitored online comments. The same people who were spewing hate a week ago were now flooding forums with heart emojis and declarations of undying love. TCH. Women, especially after a castmate, accidentally leaked a candid photo featuring Kanan, the fan groups exploded. New fan clubs popped up like mushrooms after rain, filling up membership quotas within half an hour. Even blurry candid shots or official cast photos couldn't hide Leo's striking good looks. It wasn't just girls anymore. Guys were noticing too. Since Leo had previously voiced characters in BL, boys love, dramas, his combination of looks and voice now attracted a fervent following from a particularly intense demographic. The fan meet approached. I heard scalpers were already selling tickets for exorbitant prices. On the morning of the event, Leo seemed unusually calm as I ate the red date porridge he'd made, munching on the sun-dried radish pickles he'd prepared himself, my teeth ground slightly. I probably won't be back for lunch, he announced casually. Wait for my call tonight. Though he wasn't smiling, there was an undeniable air of quiet satisfaction about him. No way. I had to be there. Wait until tonight? My heart couldn't take it. With his newfound fame, he was like prime steak thrown to wolves. He'd be devoured before dinner. And the crowd would be a mix of guys and girls. What if I couldn't fight them all off? Timing my departure carefully, I headed to the fan meet venue after Leo left. The security guard at the door was impassive, firmly blocking my entrance. Sorry, miss, ticket holders only. Wait. Please, sir, I'm Leo. I mean, Kanan's girlfriend. The guard didn't immediately kick me out. Instead, he gestured around with weary amusement. See that large fellow by the entrance? Claims he's Kanan's ex-boyfriend. He pointed to a short kid nearby. Says Kanan is his long-lost nephew. He sighed. And the crying lady who just left? Swore she was Kanan's birth mother. Wow. Just, wow. See, I pressed my advantage. Lots of relatives, but did anyone claim to be his girlfriend? That's because I am the one and only. To excel at math problems, I might be hopeless. But quick thinking? That's my superpower. Before I could elaborate, the guard continued, clearly enjoying this. Actually, I've already turned away 17 alleged girlfriends today. Congratulations, you're number 18. At this point, what could I do besides go home and watch the live stream? Except, I remembered the spare family pass Maya couldn't use. Don't ask why Maya couldn't make it. Clearly, she prioritized her mission with Ethan over supporting her own brother. She'd couriered the pass to me yesterday. Waving the pass triumphantly, I sailed past the stunned guard and into the venue. Seeing Leo on stage, posing for photos with fans, surrounded by adoring screams, something shifted inside me. In that instant, the gap between our worlds felt vast and undeniable. He possessed a God-given talent, packaged in an unfairly attractive vessel. And me? Besides knowing him longer, what did I really have to offer? They say chasing a man is easy, like breaking through gauze. But I'd been living in his house for days, dropping hints both subtle and sledgehammer obvious, and he remained unmoved. Maybe he had already given me his answer and I'd just refused to hear it. Even if, hypothetically, sparks flew between us, with his rising fame, our future wouldn't be quiet evenings in his small apartment. Everyone yearns for bigger skies. Ultimately, Leo was human. And so was I. I slipped out of the fan meet early, wandering aimlessly through the crowded streets. Maybe I should just go home? Ethan had been worried when I first left, calling several times. Maybe call Maya, initiate the swap back? If I was failing this badly, Maya probably wasn't faring much better with my impossible brother. I missed my cat, Tux. Even if he was a demanding little fluff ball, at least he showed interest in me. Unlike Leo, that infuriatingly stoic fortress. Ugh, why can't I stop thinking about him? Finally, Maya picked up. Chloe, busy sealing the deal with your brother. Operation Sister-in-Law Swap is nearing completion. Trust me. Whoa. Maya actually thought I'd succeeded with Leo? Big misunderstanding. Looks like she'd accomplished her mission, though, while I was light years away from mine. And now I felt like giving up. Going back to my own place was impossible now. The swap-back plan had to wait. Great. Back to facing Mount Leo, the sexy, impenetrable fortress. The moon had climbed high above the tallest building by the time I finally dragged myself back to Leo's apartment. As I opened the door, I collided with Leo, who was putting on his shoes in the entryway. Just missed each other, I mumbled awkwardly. How was the rest of the fan meet? Might as well be polite, even if the business deal failed. Instead of the expected proud or pleased response, Leo stared at me, his expression hardening, ice forming in his eyes. The next second, his voice lashed out, sharp and loud. Where were you? Why didn't you answer your phone? Didn't we agree this morning you'd wait for my call? I know, but... He cut me off, something he'd never done before, his anger palpable. You don't know anything. I froze, stunned. Okay, that was uncalled for. Just as I opened my mouth to argue back, a tiny meow distracted me. A small ball of orange fur wobbled out from behind Leo, making a beeline for us. Oh! A kitten. I scooped up the tiny creature, my anger instantly softening. What's this? It's for you, Leo stated flatly, making no attempt to hide it this time. Okay, fine. On account of the adorable kitten, the other half of my anger dissipated. Why didn't you answer your phone? Leo's gaze was fixed on me, ignoring the kitten completely. He pressed the question again, his intensity resembling a suspicious husband waiting to catch his wife in a lie. My phone was off, I admitted. Clearly, my future as Mrs. Vance wasn't happening. Why bother pretending anymore? Battery died? No. I turned it off deliberately. My blunt honesty earned a humorless scoff from Leo. Right. Party all night, forget all about your idol. Loyalty these days, huh? Just a few days ago you were buzzing around me constantly. Unlike his usual thoughtful pauses, the words tumbled out, sharp and sarcastic. It felt like our roles had completely reversed. The kitten, wriggling in my arms, suddenly leaped down and darted towards the bedroom I'd been using. I remembered abruptly. I hadn't closed the window this morning. Ignoring Leo's acidic commentary, I kicked off my shoes and dashed after it. Leo, realizing the danger, followed close behind. Thankfully, the kitten had only managed to knock over a storage box under the bed, not escape onto the balcony. But as I saw the contents scattered across the floor, my face burned with a heat that had nothing to do with anger. Utter social death. I couldn't stay here another second. My meticulously collected stash of Leo-related paraphernalia, limited edition drama posters, fan-made merchandise, notebooks filled with commentary on his roles, even doodles of his profile, lay exposed in all its embarrassing glory. Actually, I just came back to grab my stuff, I stammered, desperately trying to shove everything back into the box. I signed up for a last-minute tour group. Leaves tonight. Gotta go. I recycled the lie I'd told my own family. I lunged for the box, but Leo's hand clamped down on mine, stopping me. He knelt beside me amidst the debris of my obsession. There was supposed to be an after-party tonight, he said quietly, his anger replaced by something else, something harder to read. I was planning to take you. Introduce you properly. Go. Public. He looked down at the scattered items. I don't really know how relationships work, but in the dramas, the girls always seem to like grand gestures. Announcing it to the world. Wait, what? My brain struggled to keep up. Was this some bizarre plot twist? Had the boy genius finally figured things out, or had a crazed fan whacked him on the head? The shift was too sudden. Right, I said quickly, scrambling to my feet. Well, I'll just pack this up and get out of your hair. If he was serious, I needed to act like a normal human being, not a stalker. Before I could escape, Leo looked up at me, a slow, devastating smile spreading across his face. If you leave, he asked softly, his voice returning to its usual captivating timbre, what am I supposed to do? Oh, my God. Where did that line come from? But, damn it, I really liked it. He. Maya? Operation Sister-in-Law Swap. Accomplished. Mission complete. Over and out. Later, basking in the glow of our newfound and incredibly sudden relationship, I learned more about Leo. His social anxiety was real, rooted in a difficult adolescence. His voice had changed much later than his peers, leading to relentless teasing. Proud and solitary, he withdrew, avoiding social activities, even pursuing early admission programs to escape high school sooner. University, away from home, highlighted his lack of friends. His primary social interaction had been with my brother and me. Every time we hung out, he confessed one night, his hand gently stroking my hair as I lay half asleep beside him, you talked so much, filled all the silences. You said everything that needed saying and things that didn't. I never had to. Perhaps, even back then, an unconscious reliance had formed. Then, finally, his voice broke. The late gift, as he called it. He vividly remembered my reaction the first time I heard his new, deep tones in my first year of high school. Leo, your voice sounds amazing. You could totally do audio dramas. I vaguely recalled that phase. I was obsessed with BL dramas back then, constantly urging anyone with a decent voice to become a voice actor. I must have recommended hundreds, maybe thousands. But the only one who actually did it, the only one who succeeded, was the man lying beside me now. It was late, but Leo continued talking, his voice a private, luxurious broadcast just for me. Hearing these stories from his perspective was an unparalleled pleasure. My little muse. He murmured, his lips close to my ear. From now on, I want to talk to you for the rest of our lives. Okay. Though pretending to be asleep, my heart soared. I'd already given my answer long ago. He just hadn't been ready to hear it. Okay, I thought, snuggling closer, a contented smile spreading across my face in the dark. I'd like that very much.